4 weeks, 4 different simulators, and I can potentially qualify for the live final at Simply Race in Milton Keynes. And the winner of that gets to take part in a Learn to Race track day, which sounds incredibly exciting. Week 1 is on Assetto Corsa, on Brands Hatch Indy layout with the Porsche GT4 Club Sport version. Assetto Corsa is new to me. This is on PC this week for the time trial, so Assetto Corsa is new to me. I've not played it before until trying to drive this Porsche around Brands Hatch Indy. Now, Brands Hatch Indy is a very short circuit, but it's incredibly technical. Turn 1, especially if you know it from any racing game you've ever played, turn 1 at Brands Hatch is make or break. It's incredibly difficult. This time trial event is hosted by VBOX SIM, and for the purpose of this event we've been given access to VBOX SIM to allow us to check our telemetry and improve our lap times, and I'm going to show you exactly how that works during this video. Now, I have already run a bunch of laps here, and I have set, I think, what is quite a respectable time. It's a 47 seconds, 0.63 something maybe, but it is on the Indy circuit. It's quite a short track, but it's so technical. And I've been using VBOX to try and figure out where I can improve my lap times, where I'm losing out through different corners, apex speeds, gear shifts, throttle inputs. All of that data is tracked. Now, we have data in game on the top left of the screen. It gives you sector times to let you know if you're going faster or slower. But once you've finished the run, there's no way to check back the data. But with the VBOX Sim, it basically logs the data, it records the videos as you're doing it, and it basically allows you to overlay a couple of different runs to figure out where you're gaining time and where you're losing time. So yeah, turn 1, for example, at Brands Hatch, it's an incredibly difficult corner. There's a few bumps as you go in. You need to get the car to float in here. You want to hit the apex, the car goes light here, you start to understeer, then on the compression through here you can then get the car having some grip. On the brakes just under the Palmer Sport bridge, it's down to second gear for this very tight hairpin. I almost take it as a bit of a double apex and then exit. I found it better to exit tighter. Running down the hill now, you're going to run to the white board is where you get on the brakes, you kind of get the car pivoted into the corner and drive through the corner and exit to carry the exit speed is what I found best. Flowing through here, it's a bit of a lift, a scrub of the brakes, and you kind of just send it through this chicane here. You kind of bounce this curb, and then you kind of just clip this curb on the inside here while you're slowing down, while you're downshifting to third gear, trying to get it turned into this corner here to get the car to rotate, and then over the top of the crest, trying to get the car on the gas to exit. And it's an incredibly complicated lap. Now, going through all the data and telemetry, I end up changing the setup quite a bit on the car. You can't change the gearbox or the tyre, anything like that. On the tyres, the tyre pressures, I think you want to be around 27-ish when the tyres are hot. So here are the cold temperatures. Because it's open with regard to fuel, tyre usage, all of that kind of stuff, I set the fuel usage to be 0 and only put 1 litre of fuel in the tank, so it constantly runs with almost 0 fuel. I found it best to have traction control off. It's perhaps a little bit more difficult to drive, but with the tyres being warm, I was able to get the car out the corners pretty good like that, and that's where I achieved my best lap time. ABS, I think set to 3 was about the best. I tried it more, I tried it less, but my best lap times came from this. Cambers, I don't really know what I'm doing with Assetto Corsa. I found it best at these kind of cambers. I was trying to balance my inside, middle, outside tyre temperatures. Some people say more cambers better, some people say less, but this is what I set my fastest time with. My brake bias was 63. I could maybe be faster with more rearward brake bias, but I found that I could easily over rotate and slide the car. For suspension, I had it softest for anti-roll bar, softest for all wheel rates all around. Just, I felt the car was really stiff before. You cannot control the damping, expansion or compression, so again it felt like it was oversprung and under damped, so I just lowered the springs and wheel rate as much as it can be. So that's where I ended up with setup, and it took me a while to get there. I was using the VBOX data to try and figure out where I was gaining time, where I was losing time. Now I already have a 47.6 VBOX data lap recorded. And what I'm going to do now, guys, I'm going to go out and run 5 or 6 laps, and A, can I improve my time? And I'm going to check the VBOX data to see where I improve my time. Or B, which is the more probable outcome, is that I won't improve my time, and I can check my VBOX data to my best lap to see where I was slowest. So let's go and run some laps. So the way the car's set up, the tyres are optimum right out the pits. I've got the tyre blankets enabled. So this first out lap is really just to get your car dialed in. The lap times start when you cross the line. So just get your eye in. Late downshift to second, get the car to rotate, keep it tight to the inside. Running down the hill now. Get the car to rotate and then try and fire the car on corner exit, catching those slides on corner exit. I am using the KS wheel actually for the Moser wheelbase. I find it's very responsive. I missed the apex there. Waiting a long time. Now let's run some fast laps now. Into turn 1, so difficult to. You've got to get the car to rotate. You've got to get the car to stick. It goes over the crest. Let's see how we go for this one. Maybe that's deep. No, it's not too bad. Bit too much curb there. In the gravel on the corner exit, not ideal. On the brakes under the bridge. A bit of over rotation there for the corner entry. So that's not worked out particularly good at all. But we're just warming up. Car sliding through there, and just, oh, that was beautiful. It's going to take a few laps to get ourselves dialed in. Really aggressive through the chicane here, hitting the. Feel the car really bounce there. Miss the apex. Get on the gas, keeping the car aligned as much as possible. So we're going to start out with a 40. Not sure what it's going to be. 48.8. Not ideal. Scrub a little less speed. Running down here, kept in track limits, but that was slow really on the brakes at the shadow. Get the car rotated there. On for a 47. Oh, I had to steer out that one. That's too wide on corner exit. Throw away that lap time really. Taking a lot of curb there to be very aggressive to see where we can make time, where we can lose time. All the data is going to be available to us after the run with the VBOX SIM running. So it's going to be a 48.3. It's looking like we're getting faster. See if we can do turn 1 a bit better this time. Braking, turning in, miss the apex really. Get the car to rotate, grips up at the bottom of the compression there. Big slide on corner exit, that's going to lose a lot of time. Carried good speed through there, but I'm way off in the first sector. Attacking the corner here now. Oh, get it under control. That's very scrappy, but we are probably up on the best lap. 48.3. It's looking like. So we are quite a long way off our personal best, and we'll see why that is when we get to see the data. Oh, big slide into turn 1, but that's kind of worked out a little bit in the gas. Kept it on the throttle, gripped up at the bottom. Get the car to rotate here. Narrow corner exit, not bad actually, considering how scrappy it was. Oh, big slide there. Oh, track limits problem. So throw that one away. And it's not looking like we're going to get a good lap time here, guys. So can we get into the 47s? That would be the goal on this live lap time. The car rotated. That was quite nice. Gripping up the bottom of the hill, that is pretty good. A little bit wide on corner exit. Average. bouncing through these. Get the car to the apex. Tight on the exit, worked well last time. And we're going to be borderline on the 47s, but we're going to go wide. We're going to go again. Just sneaking into the 47s on that one. Oh, big slide, but we're going to keep hold of it. Not ideal through turn 1, but we got it caught. Bit of rotation. Patient on the throttle down the hill. I didn't really manage the rotation that well on the entry. It rotated, but I didn't really commit to it. A bit bumpy through there. That's always where I'm suffering. It's going to be a 48 flat again. I think not quite. We're just missing out a little bit. Purple sectors are getting less and less as we do more and more laps. Let's see if we've got a 47 in us. Oh, way too hot into turn 1. Way too hot. Right, we're going to do one lap after this one. Get ourselves wound up. Trying to manage that rotation through here so we can get it to drive out and carry a good mid corner apex speed. You can see the marks on the road there where we're just bouncing the curb and locking a wheel. Okay, let's throw this one. Absolutely nail it. 47 point something is what we want. Get the car to stick just about in track limits. That's looking good. Get the car to rotate. Just missing the apex a little bit mid-corner. Aggressive on corner exit. Oh, big slide there. I had to go full 180 opposite log, but caught it. Lost a bunch of time though. Throwing caution to the wind. I've got to say, driving in AC, it's actually super fun. It's a game I've probably overlooked for quite a lot of time, but yeah, I've really enjoyed driving it. So coming across the line, that's not going to be what we want to do, but let's just look at VBOX to see where I was missing out compared to my previous best lap time. So with the VBOX SIM running in the background, you can see here it gathers the last file. It knows exactly what track you're on, it knows what car you're using, all of that stuff. It outputs it to your directory of your choice. It also captures the video of the lap time you're doing. You choose what display. I'm choosing quite a low resolution to capture this one because I'm only using a really modest kind of budget laptop, to be honest. So yeah, I turned down a few of the settings because I'm also streaming from the exact same laptop to capture the video for this particular video. I'm running AC as well, and on top of VBOX SIM, which is capturing the video. So there's a lot going on, and as you can see, even with my modest laptop, we're still running a pretty good frame rate. So now we're in Circuit Tools, which is another bit of software provided by Race Logic to allow you to analyze your VBOX data gathered by VBOX SIM. So Circuit Tools is completely free. You can go to the Race Logic website to download Circuit Tools. There are examples of data that you can analyze yourself to get familiar with Circuit Tools. And there also is an iOS and Android Circuit Tools app, and I've used the iOS app, and it's actually quite good. All the same data is good to go. You don't get the video side by side, but behind me, just above my head, you can choose all of the different data points you want to see on the graphs. So for example, the default is set to the speed throughout the lap and your time delta. I have 2 laps selected at the moment. In red is my best lap up until this point, and in blue, in the blue screen on the right hand side, is the 47.99 lap that I literally just did on video for you guys. We can tick some of the boxes down here to add throttle and brake traces to the Circuit Tools graph, and we can head up to the top here and just we can play the 2 laps side by side. This is the video that was recorded as I was playing it, and as you can see, the 2 running side by side, it plots along the tracing and see where I braked early to the blue lap. I got off the brakes a lot later than I got off the brakes on my faster lap. heading down into the corner here. So it looks like we are carrying more speed on the red lap again, as you'd expect. And looking through this final sector, look at the video, much more aggressive on curb usage on the faster green lap, and I get much quicker to the apex as well. So that's by looking at the video. We can look more in detail in the lower graph section here as to at what point I get on the gas, at what point I get on the brakes. We can select from various pre-made workspaces, and if we click on the view all option, we also get the track map as well, so you can see the lines that you cut through the corners. So if I was to play the lap one more time, we can actually see the actual line that's carved. So we see a bit wider through turn 1 on the red, probably just getting a bit more speed on the corner entry into the hairpin. Now I think we're going to go, it looks like we're deeper on the line on the red one, but we're at tighter exit, so that's clearly where we've got a bit more time from the lap time. Tighter through here it looks like as well, and we'll see the line difference through the fast chicane. You see the red line is definitely to the inside, and where does the final corner? Tighter on the red line again, with a wider corner exit on our fast laps. So, and then obviously we stayed right to the inside on the lap previously where I knew it was going to be a good lap, just to bag that time. So switching to the graphs in a little bit more detail, we can see that the speeds, where we see the blue lap time, I carried more speed into turn 1 and it cost me time on the way out, but actually looking at the time delta, I was ahead of my absolute best lap through turn 1. So that was a faster lap time through turn 1. I lost a bunch of time in the middle of, that would be turn 2 I think, and I probably gave up a bit of time on the exit, and then it continued to lose time throughout the rest of the lap. So that's it, I think, guys. 47.6 it maybe is my optimum. I'm going to continue to try and improve my lap time offline, but I've got only a day or two before I submit my lap time. So using VBOX and circuit tools, I've been able to analyze previous lap times, see where I need to improve. And here is one of my fast laps on the screen, guys. Now the car, it actually looks a little bit ditched because I've done plenty of lap times. I've been in and out of the gravel so many times. I think this is a replay of my 47.6 lap time, and into turn 1, super wide on corner entry, clipping that apex, getting the car to rotate nicely, powering it downhill to get the compression in the bottom of the hill. And now on the brakes, now I'm going to get a good rotation in the middle of the corner. Not too bad, missing the apex really, but a reasonably tight corner exit, which is important for the lap time. Right to the edge of the track for this left-hander, powering it through all the way to the edge of the track, including some rumble strip on corner exit. Flat out as fast as you can through this chicane here, bouncing the first curb and then bouncing the second car, hopping and locking the brake on there and getting the rotation in the middle of the corner. Now fighting with the car on corner exit, and we're going to run to the line. I think it's going to be the 47.6 lap time, and I do keep it all the way tight to try and minimize the distance, and it is going to be the 47.39 lap time. So I think that's going to be my time for this week. I'm going to submit it to the guys and see where that puts me. I've got to say, AC or Assetto Corsa has been a bit of a blast to drive. I've really been quite engaged with it. Next week is iRacing with the Radical SR8 around Alton Park. Now I've never driven the Radical SR8 and I've never driven around Alton Park, but I have done quite a bit of iRacing, but it was about 10 years ago, so that's going to be an interesting one, and it'll be a bit different video next time, guys, because I'm going to record the whole process right from learning the track right through to my final lap time. So make sure you subscribe and tune in for that one, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.